one, be in your purpose because you're living authentically like yourself, and just feel at peace. Like peace is priceless. And that's something that I learned, and that's something that I crave, to just be at peace with all situations, people, places, and things. If it disturbs my soul, I don't want it.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Sunnyinthe6 podcast. I'm your host, Sunnyinthe6, and on today's episode, we're talking about the correlation between mental health and fitness. I have a special guest today. Her name is Sera. I first came across Sera in the Queen Warriors community. We were both Queen Warriors and Queen Warrior ambassadors, so I went around and I followed all the Queen Warriors, and I felt like it was cool to have a bunch of other women who were on the same journey as me. And it really was. It helped. It was amazing. She was always so bubbly, and I loved her personality in her videos. So when Elizabeth said that she was coming to the support group and that she was going to be one of the guest speakers, I was really excited to finally get to know a little bit deeper into her story. When she came and she told her story, it resonated with me so much. I thought, hey, why not get her on the podcast so other people can hear and resonate with what she has to say. So here we are on the podcast, and I'm really, really excited to have you here with us.
I am super excited and honored to be here. I have been manifesting this actually. I was like, I am going to be on a podcast, and then boom, here comes Sunny in my DMs, and I'm like, yes, universe, look how the universe works. So I am super grateful, feeling super blessed. So thank you for the opportunity to join. There's nothing that I haven't been more passionate about than helping women feel encouraged on their healing journey. So this is the perfect platform to kind of just spread awareness and motivation that is possible to get through the hard times, and to really connect the dots on how fitness and mindset just they go together.
They completely 100% go together. And I think the more people that know that, the better. Seriously. So without getting too personal right off the bat, can you share a little bit about your journey in your recent relationship and what made you turn to fitness?
Yes. So initially, my fitness journey happened around COVID times. I think everybody was trying to find themselves then. They were like, what's happening? The world's shutting down. You're really sitting with your own thoughts. And you're like, man, let me start working on myself. Initially, my journey was just fitness. I just wanted to look better. I didn't even really understand the part of mindset that also comes in with fitness. So that was on the back burner. I was just like, I need to look good. The summer's coming. At the time I was getting married. So I was like, I need to fit into this wedding dress. That was my ultimate goal. I thought I was healed. I thought I didn't have no problems. I thought I knew how to deal with everything. Pick up your pants and keep it moving. Your big girl pants, keep it moving. But I was fooled, because I did come across the Queen Warrior program, and it just made such a connection between fitness and mindset. When I would do the workouts, it was okay, let's do affirmations. Ooh, we doing affirmations. Yes, speak life into me. And then I noticed that the more that I was working out, the better I was feeling. So that's really where the journey started, when I started to realize, wow, I'm not only doing the physical work, but I'm also needing to do the mental work to kind of heal the things that I'm dealing with that I didn't even realize that I was dealing with, if that makes sense.
100% makes sense. Same boat for me. I was kind of I just want to look good, but you don't realize that when you look good, then you're going to feel good. It's all connected. The way that you feel affects how you treat your body, right? So it's all connected. So when you turned to Queen Warriors, it was just to look good, but when along your journey did you really discover okay, wait, maybe I need to work on my mental health a little bit?
So when COVID hit, I started to develop heavy anxiety and panic attacks. And I was like, whoa, what is happening? It's me. I have all my stuff figured out. Why is this happening to me? Why am I feeling like this? Mind you, you're juggling everything. You're juggling the unknown now because the world is shutting down. It's what are the next steps? Like, how am I going to make myself feel better? I knew working out made me feel better, but it didn't fix the problem. And I remember it consuming me, like my anxiety consuming me to the point where like I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do certain things. I didn't know how to regulate it. Breathing exercises weren't working. So I went to like my doctor, and she was like, I think I'm going to give you like a little bit of anxiety medicine. And that was it for me. I like lost it. I was crying hysterically. I felt broken. I felt like damaged goods. Like, oh my God, like I need medicine to like fix what I'm feeling. Like I do not like taking medicine. So when they kind of like asked me like, hey, maybe this will help settle your nerves and stuff like that, I was like, I don't want it. I don't want it. But then I was like battling what I was feeling because I was so anxious that it was just triggering panic attack after panic attack. And I couldn't cope. So I'm like, now what's really going on with me that all these things are surfacing? What's causing me to feel this way? Because again, in my mind, I felt like I was okay. But I didn't realize that it was everything that I kept like just brushing under the rug. Okay, now a hit came. Okay, we brush it under the rug. We get back up. We keep it moving, but never really dealing with the things that were coming my way. So that surfaced in my body and kind of shown as anxiety. It's shown as panic attacks. It's shown as me like retreating from doing things that I love to do. And it was all like starting to make sense. And I really started to deal with it when the Queen Warrior program mentioned the Dream Builders program, which was a mindset program where women gathered and discussed topics 2 times out of the week in an intimate setting. And it became like real. And that's when I was like, wow, like things are starting to change, because that was my safe place. Like I went there, I knew all the girls that were there, and I knew that no matter what I said, I wasn't going to be judged. I was going to be supported. And that was the first time in all my years of being here that I felt that. And then a change happened. I was like, this is what healing feels like. There needs to be more of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where my passion surfaced too. Like understanding that change and healing can happen, but you got to put in the work to do it. But if I wasn't aware about it growing up, then I know that there's so many other people that aren't aware either.
Exactly. It's like, it's almost like it's not something that we're taught growing up. It's kind of like just shoved under the rug. It's very taboo. Nobody really wants to talk about mental health, right? It's like, you're fine. Just pull it up and keep it going kind of vibe. And I talked about this on another podcast about how important it is to heal in community. So like same thing with me. When I found Elizabeth's support group, it was just a total 360 flip. I was like, whoa, like, what is this? Like this level of support that I haven't felt before. From other women, and like firstly because sometimes it's hard to get support from other women, because sometimes women can be very catty and just kind of like, what are you going through type of vibe. But just to find so many other women who were having the same struggles as me, but also finding solutions and getting to the other side of their journey was very inspiring, and just kind of kept me pushing in that. So definitely support groups and any type of groups that you can get into is like, wow, definitely needed for sure.
For sure. And I feel like you have to pay attention with the alignment that happens in your life. Like if I was resistant to joining that group, like the fear in my mind that set in, like, nah, like that sounds a little too intimate. Like, I don't want to tell my problems here. Like, I don't want to talk about these things that I was raised to kind of not talk about, because, we don't talk about those things. We just deal with them and keep it moving because we're strong, independent women, right? Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I want to partake in that group. I don't know if I want to sign up. But there was just something in the back of my mind that was like, do it. And if you like it, great. If you don't like it, don't say nothing. You don't have to participate. Like, be quiet, sit back. That was it. And once I got on that Zoom call, it was like word vomit. It was like, blah, 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 blah. And then everything, like we were just there supporting and helping each other. And like, everybody could relate in one way or another, even if it wasn't the exact same thing that was happening to them, and it was so comforting, and it felt so supportive, and it was just an amazing experience. And some of those women are like my friends now to this day, and we have like bonds closer than friends that I've had for like years,
Yeah. the people that you meet online that you don't even know support you way more than people you've known your whole lives. And it's just like, it's just about finding your people, right? I think that's like the goal in life. And I feel like you don't really realize that because everything's moving so quickly as you're growing. But once you get to a certain age and you have a moment to stop and like feel your feelings, you realize, wait a minute, like there's more that I need in life. And finding it is the hard part. But once you do, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's also not being scared to step into that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, everyone struggles with being like fearful of many different things. Even I was scared to join the support group. I
Mhm.
was like, I don't know, like I'm in Canada. These I can't even like see these women ever, like except on Zoom. You know what I mean? But it was the best thing I've ever done, realistically, and I'm so happy for that. So, other than that, what was the group you said? What was it called again?
It was called Dream Builders.
Dream Builders. So other than Dream Builders, um, when did you realize that fitness um, was also affecting your mental health?
I think that the more that I was doing the Queen Warrior workouts, the better I was feeling with my anxiety, my panic
Mhm.
attacks, like calm down, my anxiety calm down. So I did take the medicine, it was a small dosage, but it still like broke my heart. I was like, no, like this means I'm damaged. Like there's such a
Yeah.
stigma behind that. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
like once I started to really like focus on the fitness and like listening to the affirmations that were being told and the mindset segments that they had there, I was feeling better and I was feeling more in control of me, not
Mhm.
letting others control me, but me control me. And I was like, wow, like motion changes emotion.
Motion.
And
Yep.
I feel so much better. And it became something that I crave. And yeah, there are moments where life gets busy and you fall off your fitness, but you always have in the back of your mind that you did it once, you know how it made you feel and that you're always going to get back. Like I know that fitness is where it's at for me. No matter how much I might stray off in hard times, I will always find my way back to it because I know what it has done for me in the times that I needed it the most.
Mhm. Yeah. And I always say this too, like I always forget how fitness makes me feel. Like you get into that mode like, "Oh, I don't want to work out. It's hard. I'm like it's annoying." But I've never, like they say, I've never done a workout that I regretted afterwards. Once you're done, you're like, "What am I doing with my life? Why wasn't I doing this every second of the day?" Like
No,
literally that's how I feel.
it's like you're on a natural high and it's like, woo,
Yes.
what's next? And
Yes.
it's,
Yes.
it's a really great feeling.
Do you prefer to work out at the beginning of the day or in the evening?
I'm not such a morning person. I try to be. I mean, at one point in time, like look at the community of women, right? The girls
Mhm.
from Dream Builders, we had a 5 a.m. club. We would wake up every morning, 5 a.m., bust out a workout, and go to work feeling great. And that was great and all, but like I would prefer to work out in the evening time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I I like to work out in the morning. I feel like I get a good boost of energy that keeps me going. Um, but getting up in the morning is that's the problem. Like I always every day have a plan. I'm gonna get up at 6 in the morning. I'm gonna do my workout. What time do I do my workout? 10 a.m. Because I can't do it. I can't. I can't do
At
it.
least you got it in. That's what matters,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly. You're right. Doing it is better than not doing it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Um how many times do you work out a week? What's
Okay.
your
So my situation has changed a little bit.
Mhm.
So we're gonna touch on it because you kind of mentioned in the beginning. Like I went through
Yes.
a really hard time and I really lost myself and I moved. I moved to a new state and I was just feeling like, man, like I really need to refine who I am because this is just not the move. And Queen Warriors is great and everything like that, but I know I needed more how do you say, I needed somebody to like be on my ass and really push
Mhm.
me in the direction that I needed to be because I know myself better than anyone could ever know me. And I knew what I needed at the moment. And I knew that I needed more accountability than what the Queen Warrior app could provide me. So,
Mhm.
I was looking around for personal trainers and I found one that I felt like was suitable for me, who knew what I needed for me to reach not only my body goals, but like my mental health goals. And that's when I came across Sable Cologne, and she became my fitness trainer still to this day. And my results have been amazing, like within a month. And she's really like,
Mm.
she don't play. So it's like, you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right, you're gonna have the right form, you know, we're gonna speak life into you, you're gonna have the mindset portion. And it really took me out of that dark hole. So like, there's levels to this fitness mindset thing. And
Yes. I was doing Queen Warriors as well. And then eventually I signed up for the Queen Warriors Elite program, which
same.
I loved, and it was
Mhm.
great. I had Nay as a coach, and she was amazing. She was so supportive and everything like that. But I remember just feeling like, I feel like, yes, having your own accountability is great. We need that, of course, but like sometimes I don't have that. And I need that person to be like, "Hey, where are you at? Let's go." Like, we're going to the gym right now. Like, and I didn't get that so much with the elite program. I loved it. I learned so much with it, but
Yeah.
I just didn't get that. So I kind of fell off my fitness journey like since then. So like I did the whole elite program. I got so fit and I was so hot.
You
But
still
then
have it. Stop playing.
after I kind of fell off and I was just like, okay, I'm done that now type of vibe because I didn't have that person to be like, all right, let's go. So now I'm starting back at the Queen Warriors videos. I'm like back at the beginning, but I'm not stressing about it because I've learned so much like mindset along that journey that now I'm like comfortable to start back at ground zero and just be like, okay, you know what to do now. Let's do it again and build yourself back up to that point.
It's honestly like my muscle memory. Like, if I'm being honest, I haven't been as consistent as I would like with my workouts these past 2 weeks. So like, today I worked out, and let me tell you something. When I was looking at a video of my abs, I was like, "What?" I thought, yeah, I was looking all pudgy and stuff. And then like, she recorded me doing some exercise on the Smith machine, and I said, "You know something? Like, it's that reminder. Like, look, your
Mhm.
body remembers. You need to remember that you got this. You
You
know,
got
stop being
this.
so freaking hard on yourself, because we are our worst critics."
100%.
You
Yes.
know?
Yes, yes, yes. Even like maybe like 3 days after me starting to work out again, my boyfriend's like he's like, "Hey girl, like you getting it. I see you." I'm like, "Stop, stop."
Keep on, keep on.
Oh my gosh, so funny. But you're right. That muscle memory is real. And like I remember when I first started my fitness journey, like I couldn't even squat. Like when I first started, like I was done for. So to not work out for like 6 months and then to just start back and be like, okay, like I'm back on this and feel good about it and not like be dreading it. Like I'm just thankful for that.
Yeah.
Because it actually gives me the motivation. That was another question. So how do you stay motivated? Like to keep going, like to keep going to the gym every day. I guess it's the reminders, like you said.
I mean, I think if anything, it's just me not wanting to go back into that place that I was at. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's my biggest motivation and determination, is not to be that person I was. Like, I am so all about growth and moving forward. Like, in whatever way that I can better myself, like, please, like, hit me with it, because I'm not trying to be stagnant. I'm not trying to be in the same place next year. Like, mind, body, soul, 110%. Like, I'm looking to move forward. I'm looking to grow. I'm looking to like break generational curses. I'm looking to create generational wealth. Like, I'm looking to do a lot of things. And I know I'm one itty bitty little woman, but I know I can make a big impact. And
Yep.
like, that's what it is. So that's really the determination. That's really the motivation, is just wanting to be at least 1% better each day, and to understand that not every day is going to look the same. And
Mm-hmm.
even if one day I'm giving 40% because that's all I can give, that's still 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to understand that it's not always going to be on a high. You know what I'm saying? You got to meet yourself where you're at, give yourself grace, and know that you did it before and you can do it again.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. That's amazing motivation right there. Um, so you mentioned that you moved. So where and why did you move?
So I think with COVID and everything, and like, really starting to understand what was triggering like my anxiety and my panic attacks. Like, I used to live in New York. I knew that it was just not for me anymore. I felt like I outgrown it. I wasn't comfortable. Like, I have an 11-year-old now, and I was like, this is not where I want to raise her. Like, my whole goals and outlook on what I wanted to do with my life changed. And I started to think like, man, what's my next move? Like, I'm not feeling comfortable. Like, I'm living, but I'm not really living here. Wasn't going outside. I wasn't doing things. I wasn't really present. I was so overwhelmed with everything that I was trying to keep up, because I was in my master's program. Like, I was a soccer mom. I was, doing the cooking and cleaning as most as I could in the house. And it was just overwhelming. And I was a teacher. So, teachers take their workload home. You don't have a moment. So I was just like, something got to give. I need to find out what's going to make me happy and feel at peace, and I need to run with it. So jumping back to the Queen Warrior program and the Elite program, I went to a summit that was held in December in Orlando. And when I came here, I kid you not, it was like a breath of fresh air. And I was just like, whoa, I didn't even know I could feel this at peace over here. And a part of me was just like, maybe it's just vacation. Maybe it's a little vacation, a little break. Mama got a babysitter. Like, we good. We out here enjoying ourselves. But we learned so much also in that summit. And one of the things that stuck with me and I took and I ran with it is like, growing up, I was always kind of told to have a plan B, right? Because there needs to be security, right? So it was like, all right, you want to do that? Great, but have a plan B in case that doesn't work out. You want to do this? All right, great. Well, plan for something else. So I always kind of operated from that place. And when I went to that summit, I kid you not, it stuck with me. It hit me in my soul. It was like, there's only plan A. And you got to make it work, or you got to make it work. And once I pivoted into that mindset, when I tell you everything just started to fall into alignment, it was insane. It was insane, because things that I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. Like, I don't know if I should do it. That fear was taking over. It was like, nope, jump 2 feet in, because you're going to make it work. You don't have a choice. And once I started to do that, I was like, all right, maybe I do want to move to Florida because of the peace that I felt there. Let me go back and visit. So that was in December. I visited in March. When I visited in March, things just started falling into place. Oh, look, there's a school right here. I want you to go talk to the principal. I want you to do this. And the principal was interested. And it was just like, everything just fell into place. And I remember my way on the airport. I know I shared this with you before, but it was just such a surreal moment. I was sitting in the car with my friend. She was driving me to the airport to go home. And I just started crying hysterically. And she stopped the car and she was like, hey, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? I was like, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like my life is about to change. And it's all going to happen so quick and all at once. And she was like, isn't that a good thing? I said, yeah, but I'm not too keen on change, right? Because it's something I'm not quite accepting or used to. So I'm like hysterically crying, and she's like reassuring me. And I kid you not, everything just started falling into place, and the move happened fast. So that was in March. In July, I ended up moving. Everything just fell into place, and I've been here since. And I've been so at peace. And it didn't come without its obstacles, because with change comes growth, and with growth comes letting go of a lot of things that no longer serve you, and people and places, and whoever don't understand, but that's no longer your issue, right? So you doing a lot of growth, cleaning house, and that's where like the tough part comes in, because with healing, it's really like a self-reflection. It's really being self-aware of the things that you need and the things that you want and require in life. And that comes with letting a lot of things go.
Yeah. That's hard. I'm grasping. So when you moved to Florida, it was just you and your daughter then?
Yes.
Okay.
So at the time, I was, in a 12-year relationship, and things were completely rocky. Like, to the world, everything looked great, but everybody go through their battles that nobody talks about, and it was super rocky, and we weren't always seeing eye to eye on things, and I just wasn't happy. I felt very alone. I felt stagnant. I felt like I wasn't living to my fullest potential. I felt unworthy. I felt lost, and you taught to make things work. So you just here trying and trying and trying. And you're like, okay, like things are great, when you're with everybody else. But what about me? Like, and, my feelings and what I bring to the table and what I provide for you. And it just was a big awakening when I moved here, because I ended up moving just me and my daughter, even though we were still together. And because he did not come with me, I had time to really sit by myself and in my thoughts. And I just started to connect the puzzle pieces. And I was like, this is just not working. And then you go through like the thoughts of like, damn, you're a failure because marriage is supposed to work. And it's like, everybody's going to judge you and you're going to be the villain and you're going to be this and you're going to be that. And I had to really like self-talk, like none of that matters, because I'm not going to live my life for other people anymore. Like, that's done. The old me is done. Hi, welcome. My name is Sera. This is the new me. Like, we're moving forward with the things that I feel comfortable with the things that I feel that are authentic to me now, right? It's no more about people pleasing, because as I was people pleasing and pouring into everybody else's cup, my cup was empty, and it's very hard to be in a relationship and still feel alone and still feel unheard, still feel misunderstood, like that's not easy. And I remember the thing that really like kicked things into gear is me seeing an Instagram post that said, if your daughter was dating someone like the person you're with, what would you tell her? And at that point, at that moment, it was just too toxic. And I said, I can't. I have to set the example. I have to be the example. And I have to live a life that felt authentic and happy to me. There's been a lot of situations that have occurred throughout our 12 years that contributed to the demise of our relationship. And that's okay. I had to learn to be okay with that. We were both growing in life. We were both growing in different directions. I was on my healing journey. Maybe he didn't reach it yet. I was finding my purpose. I'm not sure if he was sure of his yet. And we just weren't aligning anymore. And it was just causing a lot of friction, a lot of unhappiness. And I was just done. So long story short, he came down. Things got really bad before they became okay. We're no longer together. I've accepted that. I moved on from it. I'm hoping that he's also moved on from it. I have no ill will. We're co-parenting. So, but it's important to know that you don't have to abide by the status quo of like, no, marriage is forever. If it's not working, then don't settle. Don't settle, because you're going to make yourself sick by staying. You're going to diminish your worth for someone who is not necessarily seeing your worth and what you bring to the table. Or maybe they just don't care. Like, you don't know. Like, I don't know, but it's important to know that it's okay to make the best decisions for you. Yeah. Because guess what? Once you pour into yourself, then you're able to more freely pour into others the way you would like. With this move that happened, with my healing process, there's so many people who I loved and are close to me that may not understand, like, why. Oh, you've changed. You're acting different now. You think you're better than us. You think this. It's not that. I just want, one, to live authentically as I would like to live. Two, I want better for myself and for my daughter. Three, the generational curses need to end, and they're going to end with me. They're going to end with me because I refuse to let this continue. It's too much, but I know and I understand that I might not be able to take them with me now, but once I get to where I need to go and I have the tools to share with them to get there, then we all going to be there. We all gonna be healing. We're all going to be thriving. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why it's so important to like really own your healing process and dive into it despite what anybody thinks, because at the end of the day, all you got is you. And if you don't pour into you, nobody else is going to pour into you the way you will.
Exactly. 12 years is a long time. How did you redefine your sense of identity and self-worth after that?
I'm still
You're
redefining
still getting it.
myself.
Mhm.
That's not gonna happen
Yeah.
overnight. It's a lot. Like it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unlearn because when you're in a relationship like that for so long, you develop so many different patterns and ways of doing things that you think are normal, but they might not be the most healthiest things.
Mhm.
What I've learned is that like some of the things that I struggle with myself still is just like feeling heard and understanding that what I bring to the table is of value. Like that's something that I'm like, yeah, nah, I know I'm a good woman. Like I know what I bring to the table. Without a doubt, you can't tell me nothing about that now. But like the ability to communicate sometimes is very hard for me because I
Mhm.
went for so long, not just in my relationship, but in other relationships, whether that be family, friendships, like feeling unheard, feeling like what I had to say never mattered. So when it does come to communicating, I'm learning that I struggle with that. And that
Mhm.
wasn't so apparent to me before because I like to talk. Like, you can't get me to shut up sometimes. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not good at communicating when I thought I was a good communicator? But,
Yeah.
at the time, I was just communicating to the wrong people who didn't really value the things that I was saying, people who, wanted to dismiss me and only wanted to hear what they wanted to hear. So that's something that, like, I presently still struggle with. But I think the key to healing is being open,
Mhm.
understanding, taking a step back and being like, man, I do that. It's time to work.
Mhm.
It's not easy and it's not going to be without failure. That's why grace is important in the healing process too, because I know everybody says it, but healing is not linear. It's not just like, okay, we're going to go up, 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 up. There are days
Mhm.
that I am fine. There are other days I'm like, whoa, what just happened? Like, I feel like the rug was just pulled from under my feet and I'm on my ass all over again. You know, it's
Yeah.
but it's important. I know we spoke about this before in the women's group. Like, you need to feel what you need to feel and let that shit go
Yeah. It's
because you won't
true.
move forward if you don't.
Yeah. Healing is really about self-reflection, and I think that's really the hardest part because yeah, like other people judge you all the time, but when you have to really look into yourself and judge what you think, how you feel and decide it's so hard. Like it's really hard.
No, it really is. And going back to like the relationship, like no situation is ever one-sided, right? Two
Mhm.
parties play a part. And you have to be self-aware of the part that you played in it. And
Mhm.
I mentioned before, like in that relationship, I was an enabler. I was like, okay, like you did that. All right, cool. Like, let's get help for this, but let's keep moving forward. But what did that teach him? That it was okay to continue that pattern.
Mhm.
So what did that also teach him? The
Mm.
self-worth that I thought I had.
Yeah.
So that's where he met me. So it was just like, okay, that's what you're doing. Cool. I just want to please whatever you want. Sure, sure, sure. Like maybe if I continue to be a people pleaser, you'll love me more eventually and things will just get better. Like, nah.
Yeah.
That was a tough pill to swallow because it's like I'm over here pouring my soul out for you. Like, why can't you love me the way I deserve to be loved? But I didn't
Mhm.
notice at the time, like I was too busy pouring love into my relationship. I wasn't pouring love into myself.
Mhm.
That's another struggle in the healing process, like really knowing how to love yourself and
Yeah.
share uncomfortable moments with yourself. Something I also struggle with is like taking compliments, getting better at it. But like if somebody was to come like in my fitness journey and be like, wow, like you look amazing. I'm like, thanks, girl. I'm trying, but this stomach is still here. Instead of
Yeah.
just like, thank you.
Mhm.
Still
But
working on it,
yeah.
but
I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. I'm definitely the same way. Like I always have like a rebuttal. Even my
yeah,
boyfriend's like, "Can't you just take a compliment?" I'm like, "No, okay, deal with it."
it's hard. It's so hard. But then it's just like take a moment to like reflect. Why is it so hard?
Mhm.
And then these are things that we don't think about that are like in our subconscious. So it's like, okay, so what is the problem then? Where does this stem from? That's when you start to really do the work. And that's when the connection from fitness and the mindset starts happening in the healing process, because it's like, all right, I worked out, I lost the weight. Why do I still feel
Why
like
do I still feel like this?
yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's so true. It's so true. And going back to what you were saying about, we all play a role in relationships, and like understanding your role really is key. Like even within my own relationship, sometimes I have to understand the role that I play. Like, yes, like we have conflict, and yes, we don't agree, but um I am part of that. Not always, not all on me. Like I know that now, but like some of it is. So it's just learning that is definitely a big part of growing and healing for sure.
It is. And sometimes we ain't gonna grasp it when it first happens.
When
Sometimes
it
I'm
happens.
my thoughts a little bit and then be like, hey,
Mhm.
I was wrong. And that's not always the easiest either, especially when
Mhm.
your intentions, like your intentions are never to like be ill will or like make someone upset, especially that you care about, but it just kind of happens because you're in your healing process. You're learning things about yourself that you do that you need to kind of fix and tweak. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, because who
It
wants
is.
to hear that they're less than perfect?
Exactly. And nobody's perfect really, but like we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's so true. So how do you feel like your perspective on life and relationships has evolved since you've moved? Like, are you looking for love, or are you just kind of focusing on yourself? Or
Lord.
oh gosh, no, sorry, I put you on the spot.
Right spot. Oh my God, you got my vein popping out. No, but like, let me tell you this. One of the things I think that I want to say that, like, I don't ever want the things that I've been through in life to block any blessings that I may have in the future.
Mhm.
So, as bad as things may have been, as horrible as some of life's obstacles may have been, like, I don't ever want to carry that to the extent where it takes me to a place that I can't come out from. So, I say that to say because, like, generationally, a lot of females may be scorned in my family and may not really wish to pursue love and to pursue relationships and stuff like that. And I've seen how that looks. And that's not the type of life that I want to live.
Mhm.
So, like, I'm open to it, but I'm also open to doing the work on myself, because I know that one, I'm not a cakewalk. Like, I'm a Gemini, a Latina. I'm a little on the spicy side. I know I got some work to do. But like, I'm not closed off to it either. I think that things need to organically happen, and what feels right, like, best believe in this season of my life, like what feels right to me, what feels peaceful to me, what makes me happy, what brings me joy, what makes me smile. I'm gonna go for it 110%. No matter how that looks, no matter who approves, who doesn't approve, like who understands, who doesn't understand. Like,
Mhm.
it's my season. And
Yeah.
it's a personal comeback for me, because for too long I have let myself go and not have done things that have fulfilled me and made myself happy. So, love comes creeping around, and I'm vibing with somebody, then
She said, "I'm not gonna stop it."
you know,
I love that for you. You definitely deserve that. So, um, definitely stick to that. I hope you find the perfect love, but I also hope that you find the love within yourself as well that you're looking for, right?
110%. I have to plug a book, because I
Yeah.
haven't finished reading the book yet.
Okay.
But when I tell you, this book is dropping so much gems, It's called The Love You Seek. Be the Love You Seek or something like that.
Be the love you
And,
seek.
I feel like she's talking about my whole life story. And I'm like, wow, it really, we're not going to go into it, but it really just touches base. Like everything that we do as adults stems from childhood.
Yep. We talked about it in the support group, but we do have that book club going. I'm going to bring that book up because that's something that we're learning in the books that we're reading as well, is like a lot of the things that we believe are like agreements that were set to us from when we were kids. We didn't agree to them. They were just set on us. Like, this is how we're going to move. This is what we're going to do. But like, it's up to us as we grow to change that.
Yep.
And it's like, if you never seek out that change, like literally you'll be stuck in those ways forever.
But that's the thing. I feel like so many people are just so unaware.
Exactly.
And that's what makes me like become so passionate about like just spreading how healing helps, because people are unaware. Like they continue with the same patterns and doing the same shit over and over and over again and wondering why their relationships keep happening in the same format, or whatever relationship, whether it's friends, family, romantic. And you're like, dude, take a moment, take a step back and realize that there are underlying things that have happened that have caused you to do this. And it's important for you to take a moment, stop, and try to figure out why. So like a lot of in the healing process is starting where you are and moving backwards, peeling back the layers, understanding why those things are. And it's never over. Once you figure you're like, oh shit, this connects to this, and now I'm peeling a whole different type of onion because it led me to something else. But something as hard as it is, as emotionally draining as it may be sometimes, it is so fulfilling when you are able to really just, one, be in your purpose because you're living authentically like yourself, and just feel at peace. Like peace is priceless. And that's something that I learned, and that's something that I crave, to just be at peace with all situations, people, places, and things. If it disturbs my soul, I don't want it. Now, that doesn't mean that everything is going to be super easy, right? Like without challenges and obstacles, but you have to discern what's worth it and what's not, but got to do the work. You got to do the workout. You got to do the work with your mindset,
Yeah. And and that's exactly what it is. It's work. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's work. Like, honestly, we should have had a mindset class growing up in school. That would have been.
No, 110%. I think that mental health and mindset should be taught in schools, especially in this day and age.
Seriously. That's a whole nother topic for real. For real.
Like, but that's why I feel grateful, because like we have the tools. And then, look, you have a platform to kind of share and bring it out. We're bringing awareness. And it might not change the world in this lifetime. We might not be here to see it. But who knows, our children follow in our steps, their children. And boom, as soon as you know it, there's so much change happening. Everybody's more woke. Everybody understands the healing process. Everybody understands that they're not their past mistakes or their family's past mistakes. Like, they don't have to continue in the same way. Like,
exactly. It's so true. And like you said, it's like breaking generational curses. Like, it starts with you healing. Then you instill that same healing energy into your daughter. When she has children, she's going to instill that same healing energy into them. Right. And it's just to know your self-worth and to know your purpose, or even just to seek it out is so important. Because I was going through life a long time, just barely getting by, like dragging myself like across the daily finish line, and that's not really a life like to live. Like, you know what I mean? You have to like do the work, and since I've been so much better, and like it's also the struggle of staying on that same path, right? And not getting deterred.
But you see, I feel like it all kind of goes back to just living authentic to yourself, because if you're living for other people, the alignment's not going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to miss out on blessings. You're going to miss out on opportunities, and there are many times when God does send the blessings to it. It might not even look the way you expected it to look. So you don't receive it. And then you're like, oh man, this is never going to happen. And you continue to just do whatever you want to do. And in a way that's not authentic to you. And then where are you? The same place that you were last year? Like, no,
Yeah.
live authentic to you. Let it weed out the people who are not for you. Let it align everything that needs to be aligned, for your future. And you're going to just see how
Mm-hmm.
free and at peace you feel. But that doesn't come without being scared. You
Mm-hmm.
have to take the leap. You have to trust in yourself and your abilities. Like, something that I like to always say to myself is God would never give me an idea and not provide me with the tools.
Yeah.
So we need to remember that, like, we have everything we need, but the
Mm-hmm.
fear prevents us and they give us limiting beliefs, but we're limitless.
Mm.
Think about it.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. We're limitless. The my fear stopped me probably for about 2 years before putting out my podcast. I was just like so scared. And it was actually Elizabeth who was the one who was like, just do it. Just do it. I know it's gonna be amazing. I know God is gonna lead you and carry you through your purpose and your journey. So just do it. And honestly, since I put out the first episode, everything has just been flowing so beautifully. Like the guests and like me getting over my fear reaching out to people. Like I saw you in the support group and I was still scared to DM you, like, you know what I mean, like we just talked and then I was like, okay, we're gonna do it. But
Girl.
like it's like taking those steps, right, just makes you a better person, and I can see it in myself as well.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I feel like we always also like 6 degrees of separation, because I kid you not, after I got off the support group, I was like, man, I just feel it in my soul. I'm telling you, it's weird, the downloads that you get and
Yeah.
the feelings that you get when you just know, when you know, you know. And
Yeah.
I was talking on the phone and I was like, I just feel like I'm gonna be on a podcast soon. I just feel it, because I didn't tell you, but I'm also in the works of developing my own podcast. Like, it's something I'm passionate about, because I feel like
Wow.
it's a way to kind of spread awareness about, like,
Yes.
healing and
Yes.
help people get the resources and understand that they're not alone. So I was
Mhm.
like, I'm not ready yet, but I know I'm going to be on a podcast soon. And then boom, here you come.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, what I'm talking about. Let's go, God. Like, I was
I
so
love that.
and grateful, because you are amazing, and I was so
Thank
excited to be
you.
on your podcast specifically. So thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. And when your podcast is ready to come out, make sure you hit me up. We could do an episode together.
It's gonna be part two.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I wanted to ask, so what is High Vibes Latina? I saw that on your, let's break
So,
that down.
funny story. Talking about doing things in fear and kind of just putting it out there. It's one of my babies, one of my thoughts that God planted in my mind. For like healing resources and stuff like that. Like, I really, in my healing journey, I learned so much. And working in schools, you kind of see, like, there's so many people who are unaware that if they begin their process, the future generations won't have to, because
Mhm.
I'm working with the future generations. So I'm like, man, there has to be a way to kind of like just spread it. So I was like, oh, high vibes Latina, like, everything is energy and high vibrational, like, let's keep it all high. And how do we do that? By healing. How do we heal? By doing the work. So it's kind of like that was the frequency that I was moving on. I wanted to do like a kind of a motivational page at first. And then I started to realize that maybe God has other plans for me. So, like, yes, it's still going to be in that context. It's going to be for healing. But I think it's going to be in different ways as well. It's going to be motivational, but I'm also developing, or have developed, my journal.
Mhm.
And this journal is intended to give women or men a safe place to kind of just pour out the things that they have dealt with and reflect in an honest way to kickstart their healing journey. Because I know a lot of times, like, you go to a therapist and you feel intimidated because they're just like asking you all these life questions or expecting you to just divulge. And from experience with some people I know, they don't really sit here and be the most honest because of fear of judgment. So initially, they're kind of hindering their healing process because they're not being 100% fully honest. So I wanted to develop and create something that would allow for people to just sit with themselves, no judgment, and just really be raw and honest about things that they have been through, and then in turn reflect, because there are reflection pages after each journal entry. Reflect, like, how did this make me feel? What did I learn about myself in the present day that, I'm taking from this experience? Because if I tell me something that has affected you in your childhood most, one memory is going to pop up. And that memory is going to be the memory that you're going to have to sit here and like write about in detail. Use your senses. How did that make you feel? How did that, like, what were the smells in the air at that time? Like, everything is just connected. Our emotions are connected. Everything we feel is connected to like the whole healing process. So it's important to feel it. Feel what you need to feel and move through it. And this is like a safe place where you can do that at your leisure in your own house without judgment, and get you like kickstarted to really do the work. So it's something that I'm passionate about, scared about, right? Because it's like something new. Like, who am I to put out this journal? But I know enough in my journey to know that like it's gonna help a lot of people get to where they need to be, or at least become aware that work needs to be done. So the journal starts off with 4 entries about like early childhood experiences. Then it kind of focuses on present moments, and then it kind of focuses in the future. So you're getting like a whole dimension of journal entries and reflections. And then hopefully after you finish the journal and the reflection, you'll get a better sense of who you are and why you do the things you do. So
that sounds amazing. Honestly, I would love a journal like that. So when you're done developing it, make sure you hit me up. Because I'll probably buy a couple copies and share them out to my friends. Be like, work on your shit.
Welcome to the party. We're going to heal today. Okay?
We're healing. Okay. Let's get it. That's amazing. I love that. And I can't wait to see that come to fruition for you. I think this has been amazing. This has been such a good podcast. We were both so nervous, but like, look at this. Like, this was a beautiful conversation and I love it. We talked for almost an hour, which is crazy.
I love talking. We can talk forever.
No, for real, me too. But maybe when that journal comes out, we can do another one of these, or when your podcast comes out, we can do another one, or even any topic that you come up with that you want to, like, I am down. Okay. Hit me up. We can do it. And just thank you. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I really appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having me. Like, my heart feels so fulfilled right now, and I'm beyond grateful for you.
Yay,
I can't wait to connect again.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Sunnyinthe6 podcast. I'm your host, Sunnyinthe6. This is Sera. If you could, do you want to shout out your socials and everything so they can follow you?
Sure thing. You can follow my fitness journey on Sera, Sera.Emily, EMILY.Rivera, RIVERA, on Instagram, and follow my soon-to-be business page, High Vibes Latina, for any healing resources and motivation.
Love that. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and follow the podcast so you never miss an episode.